You're listening to the Show We Go Baseball podcast.
What have you been up to this offseason, like non-baseball and baseball related?
I blacksmith nonstop, and that's what I've been working on. And so making knives, axes, swords. I actually did just sell a sword to a guy named Adam Wainwright. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but
it sounds familiar.
Yeah, so I just sold him I sold him a buck knife, a folding buck knife, and then a sword.
How did that conversation even come out? Did you get like a text from Adam Wainwright and someone's like, "Hey, I heard you're a blacksmith," or how do players find out that you're doing this?
So I met him in person at a baseball Christian conference this offseason. And then, so we were down there talking, and he walked up to me and goes, "Hey, so a couple of my friends told me you're a blacksmith, and I really love, the woods and hunting, and I want to get some weapons from you." And I said, "I'm your guy." Just so I have his number. I've been texting back and forth with him about what he wants, and so I actually just shipped all of his weapons to him, and hopefully he'll be getting them in about a day or so.
How long have you been doing this for? How long? Because it's such a cool hobby. It's such a cool thing to know how to do. It's such a great skill. But you don't hear a lot about modern day blacksmiths or anything. I remember when they first traded for you, that was the first thing that everybody said. "Oh yeah, he's a blacksmith." And it's kind of just like, is that like the hammer thing?
Yeah. So I've been blacksmithing with my dad for probably 9, maybe coming up on like 10 years now. And it's just been an incredible journey along the way. Definitely difficult and time consuming, but it's incredibly worth it. And to be able to make the masterpieces that I make is just outstanding. And being able to give, guys on the team or just anybody that hits me up a weapon that I made that they can use either in their kitchen or, for trapping, hunting, fishing, any outdoor sport is really incredible.
What's your favorite type of weapon to make?
So I really love making swords or axes or hatchets. Yeah. So just anything that, blacksmiths back in the day were making for Vikings to go out there and I'll keep it PG-13 and just say, do their job.
It's incredible. I'm going to say 2 things. One, for a kid, I grew up in St. Louis, so Adam Wainwright pretty much owns that city. So that's incredible. I think that is an awesome connection to have, first of all. And second of all, the guys that you have made things for this offseason. We've had Shug and we've had Brendan Nail on, and the look on Shug's face and Brendan's was incredible whenever they pulled that out. They were showing those, they were proud to have those things that you made. It's like Shug was just like so quick. He was just playing around with it. Like we didn't even ask him about it yet. And he was already like, "Oh yeah, like Theo made this for me." Like, I'm like, that is awesome. And like all the guys, like even after you had went back down to Portland, all the guys were still wearing your shirts. Like how cool was that to have like the support from your teammates? So you like, I feel like it's got to be a good feeling.
Oh yeah. I mean, all the guys, AA, AAA, there's coaches wearing them. Like everybody is wearing, and I'm wearing it right now. Denlinger Forge swag. So yeah, I mean, it's honestly incredible. Like I thought I would go in and like there'd be like, a guy like Shug or Nail, like, redneck type of guys that'd be like, "Hey, can I get a knife from you?" But like even guys that, like guys from the city or just pretty much everybody on the team, guys from the Dominican Republic, like everywhere, were just like, "Hey, like those shirts are awesome. And I love you as a person. So I want to wear your stuff." So it was honestly incredible to see the whole team come together. And I remember they got the shirts and we put them on the ping pong table right there in the middle of the room. And there was like probably 20 guys that immediately came up, and they were just like looking through it, like getting their size, going to their locker, like taking pictures. So it was, it's incredible to have, you know, your boys on the team support you like that.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna transition into some baseball things. So if you had anything to follow up,
I do have one more question, and that's
all you, man.
What is the strangest weapon you have ever made? Like, not necessarily like you got requested to make this weapon, and you were like, you know what, screw it, let's do it. Like, what's like the most out there request you've had that you've been able to do?
So I made a hatchet for a guy in Alabama that he wanted to chop wood, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And he goes like, no, I want to karate chop wood. And I was like, I don't know if I'm following what you're saying. He goes, I want you to make a metal hand, and then I want you to connect it to a piece of wood, and so I can like karate chop wood. So I put my hand on a piece of metal. I drew out on a piece of metal my hand, and then sharpened one of the edges. And then I connected it to a baseball bat, and now he can literally chop wood. So that's probably the strangest thing I've made. I call it the hand axe bat. I don't know. It's just out there, but the guy got it, and he sent me videos of him like chopping wood with it, and he loved it. It's incredible.
So there was this like reality TV show competition I saw a few years back that was like different, like it was like best knives for cutting things. It was like you had to just like cut through these different things. Do you know what I'm talking about, or is this something that I saw like once at like a hotel that like never aired again?
I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. So the main craze and like what everybody asked me, like, oh, you're a blacksmith, have you seen Forged in Fire? That's what everybody asked me. And so yeah,
that's where I thought he was going.
Okay, yeah.
So it was that one.
Forged in Fire is the only one I know of out there. Otherwise, I mean, there's a bunch of shows on the History Channel about like you know, antique weapons or different things like that, and then they show them like actually being used either in combat or, you know, on prosthetics or pigs or whatever else. But yeah, Forged in Fire is the only thing I can really think of. And I get asked about that every time someone finds out I'm a blacksmith, and they're like, hey, you should do that. And I'm like, yeah, well, baseball kind of takes a lot out of my schedule, so I can't really do Forged in Fire right now. But probably when I retire, you know, way down the line.
Road, yeah.
I might try and get on Forged in Fire. So that'll be in the future.
Yeah, this is going to be bothering me until I figure out what the actual show was. So you're probably going to get like
Google
a DM from me being like, I found it or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought you were definitely talking about the Discover that Forged in Fire. I've seen that a few times, and it is amazing. But
this was both the most amazing and like dumbest thing that I've seen, because it was people with like, you just had to like try to cut through these different trees, and if like you ran out of time, then you lost. And they had like, some of them had like real swords and stuff, but then there were other guys that had like these like dinky little knives they were trying to do it with, but they were all really into their weapons, and like they had made all of them. So that was
interesting.
And like the karate chop one sounded like something that would have been on that show. That's what that reminded me of.
Could be.
Anyway, let's get to the baseball.